Today, we're getting into something that sounds a bit backwards at first, radical acceptance.
Yeah, and how it maybe surprisingly helps you actually grab more control in your life.
Exactly. We've been looking at some pretty solid psych research on this.
A comprehensive examination. And our goal really is to figure out how facing reality, as it is even the really hard stuff,
Right.
how that somehow gives you power, helps you handle things, relationships, challenges with, well, less pain, less suffering specifically.
That's the paradox right there, isn't it? Accepting what you can't change lets you focus on what you can.
Absolutely. And there's a really key difference the sources point out right away. Pain versus suffering.
Okay.
Pain. Well, pain often just is. It's the natural response sometimes, right? Physical hurt, loss, something unfair happens. It's inevitable in life.
The initial ouch, basically.
Right. But suffering, that's framed as, well, largely optional. It comes from fighting reality.
Resisting what's actually happening.
Exactly. Wishing it were different, battling against the isness of it. That's what adds layers of misery on top of the initial pain.
So it's not just the difficult thing, but the struggle against it that creates the ongoing suffering.
We got it. And all that energy spent fighting reality. It's not just wasted, it actually makes the whole experience worse.
Okay, so what's the alternative? Radical acceptance.
Precisely. It's a core skill, actually, in things like DBT, Dialectical Behavior Therapy, used a lot for intense emotions.
And it's about stopping that resistance cycle.
Yeah, but it's not passive resignation. That's a key point. It's not saying you like the bad situation or that you stop trying to change things that can be changed.
So it's an active thing.
Definitely. It's described as a conscious, strategic choice. You deliberately let go of trying to control things that are truly outside your control.
Like what other people do, or things that already happened.
Exactly. Past events, other people's choices, maybe even big global things. Trying to force those just burns you out.
Okay, so you stop fighting that losing battle. What happens then? Where does that energy go?
That's the empowering part.
Yeah.
Redirect it. You channel it towards what you can influence.
Which is?
Your own stuff. Your internal world, thoughts, feelings, reactions, your actual behavior, what you choose to do next.
How does this work in relationships? That seems like a big area where this could apply, with expectations and friction.
Oh, absolutely. Think about rigid expectations. Expecting someone must act a certain way.
Yeah, leads to disappointment or anger.
Right, because you're fighting the reality of who they are, what they chose to do. The suffering comes from that battle.
Yeah.
Radical acceptance says, okay, you can't make them be different.
So you accept their actions, even if you don't like them.
You accept the reality they acted that way. Doesn't mean you approve or that you don't have boundaries. Big difference.
Okay.
You accept their reality, their choices, and then you focus all your energy back on your reality. How do I respond? What boundaries do I need to set?
That sounds freeing in a way, though maybe difficult.
It is difficult. But yeah, freeing is a good word. You stop that exhausting war.
This connects to locus of control, doesn't it? Where you feel power comes from.
Definitely. Locus of control. That's the idea of whether you believe outcomes stem from your own actions, your choices. That's an internal locus.
Or if you feel things are due to luck, fate, other people, an external locus.
Right. And someone with a strong external locus often feels, helpless, nothing I can do. Radical acceptance helps shift that. By accepting the external things you truly can't control, you stop being a victim of them.
You take back your power over your internal state.
Exactly. You reclaim agency over your response, your choices, your feelings, your boundaries. That's the internal locus strengthening.
So weirdly, by letting go of the illusion of controlling the outside world,
you gain real control over your inner world. It's a powerful shift.
Kind of like that let them theory idea you hear sometimes. Let them do what they do.
And let me focus on what I can do. Yeah, it's similar. Except the external you can't change. Focus on your own agency. It's strategic, not passive. Builds resilience.
Okay, let's recap then. Radical acceptance, it's got roots in ancient wisdom, modern therapy like DBT. It's not about giving up. It's an active, strategic choice. Stop fighting external realities you can't change.
Right. Things that just are, like past events or others' choices.
And doing that frees up a ton of mental and emotional energy.
Huge amounts. Energy that was just getting burned in that struggle against reality.
Which then loops right back to strengthening your internal locus of control.
Precisely. By accepting the uncontrollable outside, you boost your power inside, controlling your reactions, feelings, actions.
That's where the real agency is, moving from fighting the external to managing the internal.
Yeah, and that's how you build resilience, have healthier relationships too. by focusing on your responses, your boundaries, not trying to wrestle others into changing.
So maybe the final thought for you listening is this. If battling what is just piles on more suffering, what kind of freedom, what kind of maybe unexpected power could you find if you just let reality be and poured all that saved energy into how you choose to respond?